mean, it says we're live.
Yeah. I'm moving. Hello, Magpie. Please, everybody, let us know. Can you see us? Can you hear us? Are we coming through clearly?
Well, so far, lots of I can see you, so
Well,
something's happening.
that's good. Yeah, we have this little banner on our YouTube that says error, YouTube is not. Oh boy,
I got it. You're inside. You
Yeah.
can read the comments up there. You know.
You hear that doorbell? Anyway, so it's probably just a package. It's funny. I see Matisse, but it says McCain. The stream delay is really something right now. So that is probably what the effect is. Is that what I think it is?
Yeah. Do you want to?
I mean,
Show?
Do we? It seems like
technically your Christmas present. Do you want to open it early?
Did you intend to do that and then show afterwards? Because I don't want to spoil that.
No, go for it.
Okay.
You've already just keep this facing you, babe.
Yes. Oh, right. Wait. Because this is
because it's my address.
And it's not on the front, so I can look at the front.
Yes, you can look at the front.
Jessie got me something exciting, which we decided to show you.
We've now turned into one of those viral open the package places things. What do we have?
No, this is super exciting. I'm taking it out.
This is David's early Christmas present.
Because we always have a nice calendar up, and Jessie has got a new LangTime calendar for this year. Very, very exciting. And she has done individual illustrations for each month. So there is January.
Yeah, this stream delay, by the way, is, let me see if it's better. It's like so bad that it was like everything was on low. It warned me that images would not be clear, but that looks pretty darn good to me.
I think they're quite clear. February.
By the way, January just showed up on the stream.
Yeah. Okay. Just means we'll have to wait a little bit longer for polls, I think. March, when baseball season starts, and this is the mouse version of baseball.
Correction, the mouse version of Finnish baseball.
Mouse version of Finnish baseball, yes. All right. Ooh.
Oh yeah, this may be my favorite.
April, and that is a cat wizard. And by the way, in case you are wondering, we are doing Sarkezhe this week because our patrons voted for Sarkezhe, which I think both of us were a little surprised by.
Yeah.
I think that we kind of thought that Sarkezhe was the least popular of the 5 language. And here is May. Look at
yes.
Welcome to the patisserie. Okay. Try to.
Oh, and then we go into, so those were the LangTime animals.
Those were the LangTime animals, yeah.
These are potential future expansion packs, including some animals that you have said we would not yet do because they're too large.
Too large. There's a bear going bear-y picking.
Exactly, exactly. You get it.
All right. And then, okay.
Oh yeah, you got to remember which way to flip.
July, this one may be my favorite. There is a sea otter having a little drink. All right.
Having a little lie back. Oh, this one too is.
Back to school with the foxes, which could potentially be our next language.
Woo!
And then
These are...
our little squirrel adventurer with September. Oh,
Graham says there's a bearberry.
There's a bearberry. Oh my
I like
goodness.
a bearberry.
Oh my goodness. And this is October. the month in which Jessie and I got married.
Me.
And Jessie is the turtle, and I am the beaver.
And so turtles will not be on the list probably, since they are
For a
definitely
while.
not mammalian.
For a while. Okay, November. All the animals are having a little feast, a little get together.
In the cat's house, which is of course a cardboard box.
Yep. And then
Yes, Karis, they were. They're actually doing forms that were from my Conlang venture.
And then December, and LangTime patrons might recognize these two animals as being the ones that we did sketches for, the reindeer and the penguin. Oh, that's right, a new tease, exactly.
Yes, it is a new tease.
All right, very exciting. So that is our folder for our calendar for next year.
Merry Christmas, baby.
Yeah, and we also put together, I put together a puzzle using those images that is on our Redbubble store if you're interested.
Yes, and we can tell you about what the puzzles are like in roughly 2 weeks.
That's right,
Probably
we're
a
getting
little
one.
bit less, because we actually ordered one for ourselves. So that way we ordered the 1,000-piece puzzle, and it's those 12 calendar images tiled across, and David put like a cool green and yellow background behind it. And so, yeah, that is available on Redbubble. With a forewarning, you really need to do at least a 500-piece puzzle to get the full images.
Yeah.
If you do anything lower than the 500-piece puzzle, the borders shrink in, and it cuts off the edges of the sides of the rightmost and leftmost images. But honestly, if you like puzzles enough to want to order a puzzle, I feel like a 500 or more piece puzzle is probably what you're drawn to.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll see in the preview when you order it, you can see exactly, like what the border will be like and where it'll cut off and whatnot. So yeah, we'll have a 1,000-piece puzzle to put together sometime in the first week of January. And we can report back about things like quality, and like they say online, they say it comes in like a little metal tin and everything. So I'm quite excited to see what it's like.
Yeah, we also wanted to like put together a calendar so like, other people could get this calendar. We honestly did not find a very convenient way to do so. So like Redbubble doesn't have like a calendar thing set up, and like, I don't know, it was kind of difficult to just searching online to be like, how do you make your own calendars that you can sell? Certainly ways to make calendars for you.
Right.
Just kind of like as one-offs, but anyway, so
yeah, I was a little bit misled, because whenever I searched on Redbubble for calendars, it brought up results. So I was so excited. I was like, all right, I'm going to make a calendar, put it on Redbubble, and then anyone can order it. And moved on with it. And then I actually told David early and showed him images early. So he actually started seeing the calendar well before Christmas, which is against what I normally do. But it was because I was thinking this would go in the Redbubble store. And I wanted him to be a part of it. And so then I finish all the images, and David kind of looks at me and goes, I hate to tell you, but there are no calendars on Redbubble. And when we searched again, indeed, what had happened is if you go into Redbubble and search for calendars, there will be results, but all of the results, people figured out how to do essentially a one-page calendar. So you order like a sheet printout of a calendar.
Like a million times over.
Instead of like an actual page-turning calendar. And so we just kind of gave up at that point and decided to use the images without the month labels.
Yeah, but then of course you can decide, like, maybe you're just not a big fan of April, so you get 2 Marches instead. You can actually customize your calendar, which you can't do with other services.
That is very true. Very true. So anyway, and these calendars, because where I do it, I put our family birthdays and stuff in them, so that's exciting.
Yeah, I also want to acknowledge the ambiguity in what Graham stated. Hold on a sec, I want to minimize this.
Oh, you can just exit it.
Yep.
I don't think anyone needs to see that.
Anyway, but lousy Smarch weather. Graham says everything in my house is actually a one-piece puzzle. Which, is very funny. But if I read it differently and said everything in my house is actually a one-piece puzzle, that's a pretty cool house I want to visit.
And also, I saw, Mateus, your comment, and indeed, we will let you know if it was worth it, because Oh my god, I got it almost all the way. I just can't finish it. Because yeah, you want to make sure the quality is good before you go around ordering giant puzzles to do.
Okay, so before we get to Sarkezhe, let's finish off last week's poll. Of course, there was a poll to determine what language we're going to be doing this week, and again, Sarkezhe won actually quite handily. But the poll from last week, we did a poll for Hauhof because I have been working really hard. So, I mean, I know that there were actually a number of streams devoted to the writing system of Hauhof, but I still had not finished it at a point in time where it felt like we really needed to move on to the next language. So I kept working on it on my own, finally got it to a point where I finished it and discovered a crazy problem. Can I have my...
Yes, can you hand me my other glasses? Because I can't see far enough away in these glasses to make these worthwhile for looking at the big screen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Just switch these right here. Okay, then. A little tight. You have a narrow head.
I guess so. Don't stretch them out, baby. Those are my computer glasses that I need to stay nice and... So I won't be replacing those anytime soon.
All right. So, anyway.
Oh, and also welcome to our patrons. Tincture!
It's actually really cool. I'm a big Virginia Woolf fan. I would love to see what that is. So we figured out how we were doing vowel sequences by going back to an old poll and kind of like understanding the results. And what that meant was, honestly, it was a little bit like reverse Angala. I don't know if you remember, but Angala like had it so that if you have a vowel at the end of the word, it's like a reduced form. In this case, a vowel before another vowel gets a reduced form. And if you recall, with Hauhof, only 4 of the 5 proto-vowels participated in vowel sequences. We removed schwa because it would have just made things too complicated. And so you could have A, A-E, A-O, A-U, and so on down the line, which means we only had to come up with 4 forms. We created a way to write A and O so that the schwa was basic, and you add a stick in front of it to get A. And then we had U as basic, and you add a stick in front of that to get O. Anyway, so we put all of these things together and made a discovery that there was one form, and only one form, that proved to be identical, since that stick diacritic was identical to the diacritic that was used for O. And this table shows you which one it was. It's the one that's circled in orange. I know that's going to be kind of a lot to process. But essentially, since there was no actual character for schwa, this was not a problem for A. It would have been if there was a character for schwa, but there isn't. That is O in front of... no, it's because... all right, whatever. Anyway, the point is... O-U and a consonant proved to be identical to O and a consonant. And that just wasn't going to work. There were too many instances of it. So we had to figure out a new form for OU since the O was basic. All right, so we have, like, this is just, for example, this is UQ, in the proto. This is OQ, ok. You'll notice that the basic form is the same with a little tail and then this stick in front of it. So we came up with 2 potential options for how to resolve the ambiguity, because this is what OQ would look like, and it's also what OUQ would look like. There's no difference, and we needed them to be different. All right, so the first option was to take this diacritic and put it above. This is the diacritic that we use for intervocalic lenition, but it's actually derived from the glyph for W, and we thought, well, you know, W, it's derived from the glyph from W because it's the W preposition that causes the intervocalic lenition. All right, and so then we decided, well, let's use it as a diacritic. It's already a diacritic elsewhere. Let's just put it above the way it's ordinarily put up above the consonant. Let's put it above the vowel character, and that would be one way to do it. The other option was to put it below in this little empty space. But of course, when we put it below in that empty space, especially when you zoom out, it basically looks like one character. So then we just made it one character. And thus we have what I call the triple scoop stick.
What I call the raised paw.
Oh, I like that.
Mhm.
Anyway, so those were the two forms that we had to vote between, and it was an incredibly tight competition. So if you didn't vote, you're probably going to regret it, I assume. Because after tallying it up, the final vote was 19 to 18.
Woo-hoo!
One vote determined the winner
One vote to rule them all.
of this poll, and that winner was the triple scoop.
Oh, I do like the triple scoop.
Yeah,
that
I
actually
like
makes me happy.
Yeah. Barely squeaked out a victory. So,
Before we go
I wanted
any
to show
further,
them, yeah.
happy birthday, Miles. Miles is not here at the moment, as has been pointed out by Jonathan, but it is Miles's birthday today. And so, assuming Miles will watch this later, happy birthday. And, everyone who wants to participate in this next little activity, take a moment and put into chat your favorite thing about Miles, so that way Miles has something lovely to read when they watch later. My favorite thing about Miles is their energy. Like, as soon as you start talking to Miles, it's like immediately happy zone. Like, I don't even know how else to describe it. It's just like this immediate energy of like, this is a good moment. And like, it's every time I talk to Miles, it's like that.
Okay.
And I love it.
Super quick question. Who is Miles?
Oh, come now, David. You're awful.
Happy birthday, Miles. We love you very much. Some of us more than others. No, I'm kidding. Miles is having a real life or something.
Off doing things for a birthday? What?
Yeah, I suppose. And I'm seeing, by the way, that this actually needs to go all the way over.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That's fine. It doesn't matter. But
I have documents spaced all over the desktop. You're going to hate it. I'm sorry. Fix them as you need to. I've also got a headache.
That's all right. But anyway, I just wanted to show folks what how that font looks like. This is all a little small, I recognize, but honestly, I think it came out very well. If I increase the size here, will it go back? Well, I'll just send it back. I'll send it back. Anyway, but just so
Look how cute those are. Oh, this is looking great. And also, I'm loving the comments. And I'm so excited for future Miles to read this.
Future Miles. Miles ahead.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
All right.
Also amazing is how the font is looking.
Yeah, and you can see that for some of these, it's like, why does that go like that? Does hey trigger? Hey shouldn't trigger. Oh, it's a different hey. It's a different hey. It's him, isn't it? Yeah, that's why it triggers the nasal mutation. So you just kind of have to know that this hey is different from this hey. Well, it's spelled different. The spelling system here actually turns out to be quite something. Because, like, for example, this word that we just created, we had Kev, right, which was fuzziness? No, I'm sorry. That's different.
It's so big, I can't even process what we're looking at. That's to bend.
It's to bend. This is actually spelled incorrectly.
David.
Wait. No, I think this one is. It is. This. Sorry, that should be that.
We're good.
Yeah. Anyway, so we have chai, which is to bend or to bow. And then we have chevot, which is to shoot an arrow or fire off a missile. And originally I was like, oh, okay, Khebot, and it's like, oh, no, wait, and T with a dot. It was like, no. Actually, that should be I, which reduces to e regularly in front of a consonant, which it does. And it's like, oh, that's actually not V, it's FS, which is F with the intervocalic mutation. So it's not spelled V, it's actually spelled F with a little thingy above it. And you just have to know it really does end up looking like Irish, to be honest, where it's like you need to know MH is pronounced V and so on. There are also other times, look at this. This one is one of my favorite. So mua mua is to beg or to plead. Mua mua, actually.
And we have to spell it Muopsuo?
And you have to spell, so it's muo for mua. Because actually you followed by any vowel becomes ua.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what you follow it with. But the thing is, M is in an intervocalic position. And so actually it undergoes intervocalic lenition. But when M undergoes intervocalic lenition, it just results in M. So you have to spell it that way, but it's pronounced the same. Isn't that fun?
I don't understand why the S is there.
The S, there is no S in Halgoff, so I just used it
Gotcha.
for the diacritic.
Okay. As a side note, again, wonderful things in the comments, and I'm loving it all. But I just really want to make sure we look at Ragdoll's miles of good vibes. Yes, yes. Okay.
Anyway,
move on.
I'm just going to scroll quickly through some of these others. You can see some of the vowel combos there. The controversial OO, which I was like, yeah, and
I'm really enjoying seeing this.
There's some S's, there's some T's, and of course sometimes T is spelled with a K when it's a Ch. Ooh and V. V is actually my least favorite. W came out all right. We don't have a Z. Anyway, so there you go. And I also did the spellings for these, which was very difficult. It involves, things, and that one's not done, but this one is. And I love this. We have 3 nominal suffixes. 2 of them are almost the same. Basically, all 3 of them can have V. This one has O. This one has A or E. This one has A, and it's actually a Ba. So that's what makes it a little bit different. But they're all spelled differently, involving things and stuff. Anyway, so there you go. Halgoff for the time being.
And yes, Halgoff does have an S in pronunciation, but
Yes.
it won't be in spelling.
Right.
It's one of those things you just know. Like, I think
Yes,
Arias
toughest.
is pointing out, like, how to pronounce MH in Irish. You just have to know, and it's the same kind of situation in Halgoff.
Yeah. And yeah, there you go. The MH, their pronunciation of our Arias. But yeah, S is kind of a thing, except that it only shows up in as is it a palatal nominal? Is it no? It's an intervocalic nominal. Intervocalic lenition is where T goes to S. As long as it's not been palatalized. And we did that for in order to get something close to Jessie. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the few languages where we started with no alveolar fricatives.
Yeah.
Like that. When you look at our starting inventory and our final inventory, not only is it wildly different, but like it was wildly unique
Mm-hmm.
in its composition to start with.
Oh.
Ooh,
Western
yay,
New York.
Danielle. Oh, and look at Danielle's use of the emoji.
Woo-hoo.
Love it.
All right. So should I minimize this or just close it?
I say minimize it just because in the past, every time we close something later, we're like, oh, I wish we still had that open. And then it becomes a blinking out the screen thing.
Yeah. All right. So on to Sarkezhe. And let's just pick right up. Last thing that we did with Sarkezhe is that we came up with a word for the soldier.
Right, and I'm gonna actually, so on your desktop, I've got the Sarkezhe Sovala
Here, I'm gonna
vocabulary open. You can minimize the Halgoff one.
Yeah, here we go.
I had them both open because I couldn't remember if we had voted on a form, and then I remembered it was orthography, and in general, like, I feel like there's always something going on when we stream, and like today I am having an exhausted day, and so my brain is so slow, and it's like Gosh, if we could just schedule streams to only happen when we had the right amount of mental energy to pursue everything we're talking about,
Yeah.
that would be amazing. Or if I could figure out how to flip a switch in my brain so I'm always awake Thursday at 2.
Yeah.
Boom.
But don't worry, I'm gonna try to take charge of things.
Well, I was just forewarning people that I'm a little weird like that.
Honestly, I think that people turn in for you. Sorry, your lips were rounded.
That's
There we
better.
go.
That's better.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we did come up with a soldier. I think was the last one we did because that gave us Melmo, which delighted us but did not delight some patrons. We still need an archer, so a word for archer, and that's actually it. We could actually. And by it, I mean for this particular list. One thing we could talk about.
Look at this. I just want to acknowledge this comment by Tethys. Proto-Bantu is reconstructed without fricatives. That is fascinating.
Nice.
Anyway.
Some other ideas for what we do after coming up with, say, a word for archer. Is that our bard is pretty highly ranked for the cats, so we could come up with some of the specific song types. We already have encore as a word, but we could come up with specific song types. And then another idea is to actually move into the classes that aren't on here, like the magic classes.
Yeah.
And actually coming up with some words.
This I'm looking at actually. Because
but we have a word for magic noun.
Yeah,
the question is, are the
that's so
okay.
Like when it comes to the various like attributes for a character, there's attack, there's health, there's defense, and I think that those are generic enough that it's not like, oh, you took that from D&D. It's like, nah, it's pretty generic. However, when it comes to the resource that you use for magic, that is rather specific. If you call them, mana points, that comes from, I think that comes from D&D or somewhere. If you call them magic points, that kind of, it puts an interpretation on it. And so I would like to come up with some name for that resource. Anyway.
Also, Bubba, enjoy your meal. Stay grammar. And ragdoll. Gosh, at this point, I really wish I had peppermint and rosemary. That sounds delightful. I do not have that combination right now. I have some fresh rosemary in the fridge. I could just go start snacking on some.
What about that tea you have? You have 2 different types. Doesn't one of them have peppermint?
No, not that particular one you're thinking of is a sleepy time tea, and I don't think that's what I need right now. It's meant to, whatever it's got in it, it's meant to make you sleep.
All right. Okay.
Okay, so go forward. Go forward.
Yeah. So let's start.
Sorry.
Let's start with the archer because I thought we created some vocabulary for this, but
no, I think I made words, or we expanded semantically some words.
We have an arrow. We have to shoot an arrow,
and some of those are not full dictionary entries because I was just creating words. So,
is this just a root that means to shoot an arrow? No, wait, to release, to let go.
It means the basic meaning is like to open a paw, to loose something, to let go. Like that's the basic meaning. And then here the idea is that when you shoot an arrow, what you're actually doing is letting go. And then it flies. And so it's like a secondary meaning. Because in this language in particular, we've really played around with how we can semantically extend things, such as needle is also an arrow.
Yeah.
And so,
I want to come up with a word for bow.
Oh, that was a note for if we needed a different word. We otherwise don't have bow.
Yeah. So I would love. No, I believe that Logan is correct, isn't it? Seriously?
Oh,
Wow.
Hello, Bibluridian.
So Bibluridian says that mana, as it's used in like role playing, comes from Maori. Because I, like Logan too, thought it was biblical mana. How about that?
What is mana?
Um,
I mean, I know what biblical mana is. I don't know what role-playing mana is.
That's just a word for magical resource. So in other words, like you have health points, you have mana.
With one N?
Yes, with one N. But you know, it's like the context in which I first saw it was coming from Japanese, so it's like if it were borrowed,
it would have.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Anyway, I don't have. I don't want to, because the computer situation is so faulty. I don't want to press a link and have it, slow down. But
oh, I can press it on my computer because this one moves faster.
Oh. How about that?
Yeah. And here we go. Here's the entry. And so, Maori mana.
How about that? That's really cool. Very neat. All right. So this is what I want to do. I want to come up with a word for bow, and I would love for anybody to give us some ideas. This includes sharing etymologies from other languages, how they came up with it, etymologies from your own languages, how you came up with it. Whatever. Hey, Carl. So,
Wait, was that Carl's hi and bye?
Yeah, I guess so.
It was nice seeing you for a hot second, Carl. Poor squeaky thing.
Sorry, here, I'll try to move it.
Okay.
One that bends is bent. Let's see what kind of derivations that we have. Of course, we have all of our noun classes, but let's see what else we have.
I like how, by the way, David's laptop is totally closed. He is not on any of his devices right now, and yet Pages just keeps announcing that you're coming and going out of documents. That happens all the time on our shared documents, but that does indicate that we may be having some bobbles in our internet system. It
reminds me of this thing that happened in World of Warcraft that kind of became a meme, where there was a particular quest that just a random quest where at a certain point in progression there's this thing called the Ice Stone, and if it melts, then it makes an announcement across the entire server that the Ice Stone has melted. Well, there was some sort of bug that made it keep on saying that, and so you just be there and suddenly it just says the Ice Stone is melted, and it just keep on going. And so then it just became kind of a meme to randomly say the Ice Stone is melted. That's like, David has left the document.
The Ice Stone is melted.
Bibluridian has also been struggling for a generic term for magic resource for my con world. Well, now I'm intrigued. What type of con world is this?
Is it the one that he's actually working on right now? In streams and whatnot?
In Russian, bow is the same as onion, but I believe it is etymologically accidental. I doubt it. From stretch.
Okay.
Oh, so Logan is referring to bow drills, as in, the like to make fire.
I did not know that was what it was called.
I just assumed it was called a bow. Yeah, of course, English bow wears its etymology on its sleeve. It's just a zero derivation that gets pronounced as either bow or bow, depending on which
whether
word
you're doing
it is.
It or you're picking it up.
Yeah.
Also, I like that in Jonathan's language, mindutme, bow and onion, both are sources for glyph shapes.
Mm.
English names, if I read that correctly. What was I just thinking? I was thinking, I want to see.
Tool.
Oh, with the cord. Okay, okay. So not just this, but the one that you actually gotcha.
Well, okay, so...
No,
No, I have a thought.
I didn't know.
I have a thought. Now that I've refreshed myself of exactly what our noun classes are, if eka is to release, and that's used to mean to shoot an arrow, well, a tool, a releasing tool, could be a bow. That makes sense.
Yeah, that would be a ya.
Yeah, ekaya. Ekaya.
Oh, that's right. There's suffixes in this language. I've been working on Timashwari where my class markers are all prefixes.
Mm-hmm. All right, and indeed we haven't entered this.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I wanted to give you an opportunity to make a new entry, David.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to do. So right here.
Oh, back to the yodel-oddles. David's favorite.
Oh, God. I don't think that the canonical pronunciation is David Bowie. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that either.
However, I do like the connection of David Bowie and a rainbow.
That is cool.
The rainbow personality.
Of course, he came up with the name on his own. His name is David Jones, and there was already a famous recording artist at the time named David Jones.
You know nothing about such problems.
Yeah, I know.
Linguist David Peterson.
And so he created David Bowie because it sounded like a Bowie knife, and he thought it made him sound, really cool and hard edge, So Magpie says Bo was the first word, one of the first words they came up with for Jayadong, and it is too long to be a root. So I later went back and declared it a compound, and I'm going to guess that this Jayadong word for Bo was probably something like Man das Bak Ratsu Vartian. So this was the root that, was that it, Magpie, the root that you came up with for Bo? Mandas Bakratsu Vartian? Seems likely.
Okay, so yeah, I just looked it up because I was like, you said Bowie knife, which I have heard, but like, Bowie knife is actually how a lot of people say it, and that's how I think I heard it more often as Bowie knife growing up, and so anyway. But I just looked it up because I was like, oh my gosh, am I like misremembering this? But it is indeed Bowie, named after a last name of a person who reportedly pronounced it Bowie as well, the Bowie knife.
So Biblaridian says, according to Andrews, Achtlatl is derived from the phrase, not a sling.
That is the most apt way to describe it.
Magpie says it was Makuli. So close. Well, that's all right. We this is the proto form. Through sound changes, it just became Makuli. Sorry. What do you think? You up to the challenge? How many sound changes would it take you to get from Mandas Pakratsiu Vartian to Makuli?
A borrowed word where like they were like, I can't even begin to follow you, so I'm gonna take some stressed syllables and leave the rest behind, as we often did in English when we borrowed words.
We got a K right there, we got an U right there, we got an R right there, and an I right there. I think you can get to Makuli.
It's just like, that's a nice word. Makuli, right? Or kind of like how when an average American hears a name that is not in English, and then they're just like, oh, yeah, like Joe, right? Because they somehow heard J and O somewhere in the string of sounds.
Yeah.
And they just do it. Oh, speaking of challenges.
Here we go.
Discord, there has been a name challenge on Discord. And like the thread got so epically long, so epically fast, that by the time I actually logged on to Discord, there were like 200 new messages and my brain absolutely shut down. So all those dear patrons out there, I apologize in advance. I get very overwhelmed by having that many new messages to read, and I still haven't gotten through the thread. However, I love the activity, and I love the idea behind it of like figure out whose name is whose through all the sound changes. And so I love all of that, and I support it all. Just know that I am in the background going, "Oh, so much to read and catch up on." Ah. And then my brain shuts down.
So there we are.
Much love to you, Mateus. Who can do it in the fewest number of legitimate sound changes? Dear. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Dear patrons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's right. I love it.
Okay, so let's see. So it's
Welcome back to the document.
that.
The ice stone has melted.
And so this is going to be Eka. We know that. And it's going to mean to release, to let go of, to allow, to drop. But it's also going to mean to shoot an arrow. And also to launch a catapult.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That looks like a fake word. Catapult. Like, that can't be real.
It's not. I just spelled it this way because of the cat language.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Although, for ease of searching, you may want to take that hyphen out in case future we're like, we want to remember.
True. By the way, this is always a confusing term. Does this mean that you're using the catapult to launch something else, or that you're actually using a catapult to launch a catapult?
So we could also just say it means to catapult.
Yeah. Well, but no, that
To
implies
launch
to jump
using...
to catapult oneself.
That is true. Oh, goodness, these verbs.
Mm-hmm.
What horrible, awful things will they do next, David?
Okay.
I just realized I could be on the English side actually helping instead of just watching you do things on the screen.
Can you find me you can, but can you find me a verb that ends in a vowel in the proto stage?
Any vowel, or do you want...
I mean, kind of. Something lower back, but front would be good.
Forgot we actually... Okay. Oh, that ends in an R.
Oh my god. Cattle-addle.
Oh, no. Oh! Well, our source for to be white, which is a verb, is hobo.
Okay, so it's just an H. You put an H in there. All right. Good. Thank you. Stay on that one.
Oh, go back. Sorry. I was looking to see if we had any more that actually ended in a vowel that you would prefer.
And then those...
Well, those are dependent on verb type. And this one is intransitive, so these endings are different from what you're using.
Right, but I don't see an H there, so it's okay. I think that we're okay. But this I don't think is right. Oh, by the way, I can just paste this in the chat.
Here you go. This is also intransitive, so different, but essential vowel, and so you can see.
Ik, eeg, eeg. Okay. Wait, go back? That doesn't have an H.
Uh-oh. Well, just a second. Let me see if I find any others.
Feels like eka shouldn't be allowed. Eka.
We didn't do it for detect to whisker either. I think we did have something, though, that an H needed to be inserted. So I'm going to go back and I'm gonna see if there's any other verb forms first, and then I'm gonna go back and look.
Let's see what the protoform for, what is that?
Oh, here it is for mohro, to be blind, to be cute. Mohro has the H. Those were older ones. I wonder if we just forgot. Oh, we also then need to address the verb that means to draw to sketch, Jessie.
Mm-hmm.
Because that one also doesn't have an H. It's just Jessie.
Okay, what's the... That is... It's the first person singular. That's what that is. And the first person singular is OM, is that right?
You mean the forms in the dictionary?
Yeah.
I don't think that's actually what it is.
I'm almost certain it is.
For verbs, the citation forms include these four principal parts in this order: basic, unmarked, negation with emphasis on indifference, telic, and atelic.
Oh. Mm. Well, that's weird. Why is that an M? Oh, because
they come
it's
from different sources.
No, it's oh, so Aria's has got one, but yeah, ya to L, Makawai. Also, it looks like there's two sound changes from Makawai to Makawali.
Oh, get ready. I think we're getting some mail.
Oh, real mail might be coming.
Oh, which means I forgot to put out the thing.
Maybe you can right now. Maybe it's not too late. Okay. Okay. Got it.
We didn't get mail.
Oh.
I'm gonna write on this one home address.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Excuse me. So sorry. This was actually delivered to the wrong address yesterday, and I was wondering if you could, I was in the middle of writing and see if I could get it out. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I know that. Okay, I know that we didn't intend for vowel sequences like that.
There was, okay, so first of all, the emphasis
Fair
on
enough,
indifference is
it's
in, okay, yeah, so you found
I've got that.
Perfect. I thought we had an H insertion rule.
Let's go to H. We do, we just didn't write it anywhere.
Okay. Where an epenthetic consonant is required, the epenthetic consonant shall be H. So we do have that written. We use the epenthetic H for sure in, we have an example with the genitive, like Sifihi,
Yeah. And that's just a single vowel. So why would the negative have, no, there must be.
I think we just screwed up, babe.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. So we need to, I'm going to go through and do.
And so we had, but also those other forms should have an H inserted with the suffixes.
Not necessarily.
All of them come from, so where they have, not when it ends in a consonant, but when it ends in a vowel, like ki, it would be ki plus, and then, let's see, this is intransitive. But it doesn't matter.
No.
All of them, look, all of them start with vowels.
Yes,
you would not do vowel.
No, but these are always coming after consonants. That's what the ... is for.
Okay.
And in fact, hold on a minute. I think, is the negation also always coming after a consonant? It is. It's, yeah.
No, but it's coming after whatever's there.
This is agreeing with the cat.
Oh, it's but what happens when it's non-finite and it's negated?
Let's find it. This happens, and so let's see what wreath is. Yeah, when it's non-finite and it's negated, yeah. Wait, no, no, that's not what this is. This is a coincidental similarity. This is a class 9. So actually the error is, and this needs to be, these all need to have ... Oh, that was...
I thought there was a way that the negation could be on the... Because I thought there was a reason we did that one separately.
Let's see. What about the participles? That could be the answer. You go through and spell.
Right, negation.
We don't have anything for participles.
Oh, yeah. We have a lot written up. Do you want to move on? Oh, no, you don't want to move on. Never mind.
Yeah. I don't see any evidence of the negation appearing directly on the verb root unless it's a negative imperative.
The refusal negation with the class 1 subject. So I don't know why we treated it differently, but I know we did. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it would be understood, right, that the H would be inserted just because it's the epenthetic.
Yeah.
And so I think it's safe to change those to ... and then it. Because then if there is a way that it could end up there, like it's not viable for the language.
Let's see if we can do a master replace on this. See if I get anything but verbs. I'm hoping not. Yeah, it's a verb. Yeah, there's only 20 that are found. Yeah, they're all verbs. Okay, place all, and then do the same thing with that. Okay. Okay. All right, so then back to...
Yeah, you need to take away the ones that had an H.
And there was only one, and I got rid of it.
There were 2.
There were 2. Was
Yeah.
it, okay. I'll find it. Yeah. Okay, that's done. Let's look at the O. Well spotted. I'm really sorry. This was supposed to be an easy stream for you where I was taking over. Instead, we got stuck in the death rainbow of fixing older things.
So let go is big.
Okay.
But now I'm finally doing the English.
All right. I'm pretty sure. Only one?
Only one what?
I wanted to make sure that this is supposed to be an I. That IK form. Let's see. IQ to pounce on. Okay. Again.
Whoa, I just looked at, what is this? Death rainbow.
That should be an E.
Boy, I need to try to catch up on chat here. Now I'm trying to find.
Yeah, this is wrong.
Ooh, that's right. Mateus's birthday's at the end of this month.
Hmm.
That is very exciting.
Man. Is he still doing reverse birthdays? So, like, it's going to be a year younger?
I mean, how else does Mateus age?
Mm-hmm. All right.
From Rainbow. I see. The death rainbow would be the bow. Uh-huh. I see. Well, Arias, I should say Arias's mom, if you are hearing this right now, welcome.
What?
We hope you're enjoying. Arias said the audio has connected to my mom's AirPods, so I can't hear anything.
Nice.
And so, you know.
Let us sing the praises of Arias. Arias. I, of course, copied the wrong thing. I pasted the wrong thing.
I am
Murderer.
judging you so hardcore. Cold.
Hard coal.
Hard coal.
Hard coal for
Oh
Christmas.
my god. It's nap time, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I need to get that specific one back, the key one. Yeah.
Hmm. Oh, good use of pedaladdle in the document.
Mm-hmm. So, pretty sure that should be ekaya.
And then, yeah. Oh. No, right. Yeah, that's the verbs that end in the long.
I'm gonna double check here. So,
It's yard, right?
yeah.
I guess the R doesn't actually do anything. Huh?
This is what we need right here. Boom, 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 and we're going to delete everything above. So just separate it out so we don't have to go hunting. Ekaya, ekayages, ekayaya. Wow. Ekayene, ekayene. Wonderful. Wait a minute. Come back, baby.
Did I go anywhere? What is? Oh, that form. That's what you're.
This is suggesting there should be more long vowels than we have here.
Sorry, what is suggesting that there should be more long vowels?
The forms that we had. Did we make a mistake?
Never. Huh. It's a really funny random thing. I got a notification from an email that arrived in my mailbox.
Mm-hmm.
It's apparently my 4-year anniversary of having become ordained online. So I got happy 4-year anniversary, Reverend Jessica.
Okay, it should be that. So the okay.
Ooh, we should change the IPA, babe.
Yeah.
Not even there, just in the verb alone.
Oh.
We pronounce this dietz. But also, yeah, there too. Well, Magpie, you may not be a deer, but you are a bird, and we're going to count it. So we will give credit rather to bird sound changes. And of course, Mateus is an owl, so if Mateus has any to suggest.
Yeah, that voices that, but then it lengthens that. So these are sound changes that aren't in Lexergy because they're not across the board sound changes. They're morphological sound changes. So we dropped off the r in the ending. We dropped it off, here where it was just short. It's retained in the genitive and anything built off the genitive. But then in the others, we dropped it, we voiced the K, and we lengthened that vowel. And so this one, voicing occurs, we lengthen that. And so it's ikayagas, ikayaya, and ikayana. All right.
Out of curiosity. No, never mind. I don't think that works.
Okay. Now we have a word for bow. And we are about to have a word for archer.
Ooh. And then we'll have a Kopiko.
Mm-hmm.
And then Archer is what? Ekamu? Ekama?
Here, hold on. We're going to find out. Ekeme.
Me.
Ekeme. Ekemewe. Ekemeges. Ekemeye. Ekemene. Ekemena.
Does Eka mean first and finish?
I don't know.
Well, that didn't help. Insimainen. Insimainen.
What the heck happened here?
According to my quick Google search. But there could be other ways.
Insimagnen.
I mean, and the other ones down here are like Ensi and Dargain. I don't see any Ekas.
We'll just type Eka and see what happens. Hold on a sec. Oh no, that's Eka with a back A and also Puhekieli. So Eka.
Hmm.
Okay. Eka. Yeah.
Ooh, but now I'm going to find out what Eka means. Oh, that's right. I think we learned this. Eka means nor. Oh, I don't know that we learned it. It's either Eka, which comes out as Inca, or Eka. So when you say it's not this or that, you use the nor.
Oh, that's the negative.
Just add it on to.
So it's a ka just added onto the negative form. That's why it's Inka and Eka.
Nice.
It's probably Imika, but I don't know what ka is. It's lower than koku. All right.
Oh, well, if we change languages, Ka is a cacao tree.
Ooh.
Just gotta change languages, that's all. Can be anything you want if you just keep switching.
Mm-hmm. Ekame is Archer, and that is correct. And there we go. We have a word for bow and archer. And we have a new root. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. We should also, I think I want to create a word for catapult while I'm at it. If I've got something that's
What are you looking for?
no, I think
I know what I'm looking for.
no, I'm gonna wait on that and come up with something else for catapult specifically. But yeah, look at that. That's some good verbiage, not in the sense of verb as opposed to noun, but words.
Woohoo!
Cheers, partner.
Cheers.
And hey, we're more than halfway through the stream. We're more than halfway to your bedtime.
And I got a little pick-me-up right here.
Right on.
A little cough cough.
Right on. What, hold on, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, oh my god, I'm so close to this. Okay. Okay, I was trying to come up with a clever way of doing this, but no.
David's killing himself with humor.
Kopiko. You know your finished chicken craves it when they say, "Coop, coop, 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 coop."
Wow. Wow. When they go from a coop coop to a coop coop,
Mm-hmm.
you know. You know.
Coffee kana.
That's a good one.
Mm. Yeah.
The death
There you
rainbow
go.
of flavor, but in a good way. Nice.
Mm.
Cause a negative form of and, basically, is what we delay. Yeah. We delay you. We delay you.
Oh.
What W is saying? We delay. Wait. My word.
You really like coffee kana. All right. I need to. Now I'm going to pull this up because. Oh, you wrote it already.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so nice.
I'm on something today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing well in other ways, but on this, here we go.
All right. So let's talk about magic again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Based on Jessie's prompting, I came up with a whole thing about how magic works in this world.
Oh my god. I just saw, I forgot to take out the, like from the template, they have like and then you're supposed to have like your family name here. I didn't take that little text box out.
Oh my gosh. Get ready. Get ready, everybody, for the LangTime 2024. Dropping in 10 days. Start counting down now.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be season 6. Are you ready?
I don't know. Or
What
hold
are
on.
you trying to do? That's right. The one and only LangTime.
Here we go.
Woohoo!
Get ready. All right, I want my keyboard back. How do I do that?
Wait. Oh, hit that again?
Hide emotes. All right.
It does take the definite article. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Jessie was asking me how the animals use magic, and I had no idea. I came up with a lot of detail for like which classes had which magics and why. Also, how the magical system itself was, how it apportioned itself, what its actual source was, but I hadn't thought about how they used it. So, she asked me, and I kind of thought about it, and I thought that what they should do is each animal would have some sort of a thing that they used, and then there should be kind of like some sort of a movement, not necessarily a vocalization, but there could be a vocalization. But that wasn't necessarily important because the bards are kind of magic-y. But of course, bards are going to have their instrument and then singing. And then also just dancing. So the dogs only have healers, and the healers are St. Bernards, and they have many cakes. The cats have all different types of casters because they're the best at it, and they have the cross, which is a part of their flag. They all have one of those. They wear them around their necks like a necklace. And the cross is based on, it's a representation of the realms of magic as the cats understand it. Rabbits are mostly druids, and there's one caster, basically a rabbit who studied under the cats. And basically, each rabbit crafts their own unique wooden item from a specific tree. the caster might have done theirs to make it look like the cat cross, but it would be kind of crudely done. But basically, they just craft something that's special to them. They carry it with them. The opossums, they have a keepsake from an ancestor that they carry with them. The mice have healers and druids, and basically the mice noted that all these magic users, they have some sort of artifact, but they're all really different. And so in order to just kind of cover all bases, they have one of each, depending on their class. And so healers have a mini keg and a cat cross, and then the rabbitish ones, they have a backpack full of random tree branches that they carry about with them. Anyway.
I love it.
It's because I'm a cataholic. Get it? Anyway. Jonathan is right. Instinctively, English adjectives must be presented in reverse alphabetical order. We're all just really good at it.
That's it, yeah.
That's why you can have a huge, big carnival, not a big, huge carnival.
Oh, it's got to go reverse, huh?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so the idea is that...
Ooh, red big ball.
That, at least my idea, I'm still kind of shaping the idea, is that essentially that it doesn't matter what trinket you have, it's something to kind of like ground you, or for you to kind of like focus on, so you're paying attention to that. And then the rest of it is just kind of like both. It's like by focusing on this thing, then you can sort of tap into the ability to manipulate light and heat, really. And so it's those two things. So essentially, the mice are right. They were right, but then came to the wrong conclusion. In other words, they were right that it doesn't matter what the thing is, but they were wrong in their idea that, well, if it doesn't matter what the thing is, we better take all of them. Really, it could have just been anything. Anyway, so bearing that in mind, there is going to be a limit to magical ability, because otherwise those classes would be unbalanced. Because magical spells are often more powerful than other abilities. And also it's a way... so the magical resource is both something that can be... You know what? Actually, no. It's a drafting thing. It's not even it's not even something that you use and gets depleted that you have to keep track of, like health. I specifically didn't want that, because there's enough addition that happens, and then it's like to keep track of one thing, you're keeping track of health, and then like the tanks have to keep track of, you know, how many times they've shifted damage. Cats need to keep track of if they have come back once or not. I didn't want to add having to keep track of like a mana pool like you do in other RPGs. Something that's really easy to keep track of is the way that spells work in Hero Quest. Basically, you have a card, it has a spell on it, you cast it, and you can't cast it anymore. Simple as that. And so I wanted to do that without totally handicapping these classes, so they have mechanics that allow them to get cards back. So that's how that works. And so essentially the pool that you have at the beginning, the magic points, which are different based on the class and also grow greater the number of stars that they have, are used to draft spells. And just like Hero Quest, there's just one set of spells. With Hero Quest, there are two, the original Hero Quest, there are two magic casting classes. There's the Elf and the Wizard. The Wizard chooses one school of magic first. It's just fire, earth, water, air. So the Wizard chooses one school of magic first, presumably the one that's their favorite. Then the Elf chooses one. Then the Wizard gets the remaining two. So the wizard has a ton of magic, and then they also get to choose first, but then the elf gets to choose second. So that's how it works there. In our game, it works slightly different. There are 6, right, schools of magic, and each magical class can draw from 3 of these schools.
Oh, I thought it was 2, but yeah, I think you're right. Cause is it 3? Because you go around the hexagon. I actually thought it was 2.
No, I think it's 3. It'll be in here somewhere.
Because you drew the hexagon with areas shaded in.
It's 3.
Oh, look at that.
Okay.
But it's that they're ordered and that they can only be like these 3 together or something? Cause,
yeah, they're in a row. And the rule is you have a certain number of points, and you can use those points to essentially draft or buy spells. And since there's 1 set of them, if somebody else buys the spell, then it's gone. Furthermore, you can only draw from 3 of the 6 classes. 6, right? I was just looking at it.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Because it's the hexagon.
Right, of course. So you can only draw from 3 of the 6 classes. And most spells fall into only 1 school. Some of them will fall into 2 adjacent ones. And you can only buy a spell. So it's like there was like a permissive way of doing this and then a restrictive way of doing this. I did the restrictive way. You have to have both schools to be able to draft that. So anyway, if there's a bunch of magic users, even though there's like 100 spells, you might actually run out and you just take what you can get at the end. Anyway, so you use the points to draft the spells, and then once you have them, when you actually start to play the game, you don't worry about those points anymore. It's just these are your spells. They're either spent or not, and then you have mechanisms to get them back. So essentially, what this resource is it allows, it's almost like how much memory you have. It's kind of like preparing spells in D&D, which is something I never got, and like it's one of those things that you forget about. It's just like, what do you mean? I have the spell. It's like, well, you didn't prepare it. It's like, what does that mean? Nobody knows. Anyway, but so that's kind of like what it is. It's basically like how much memory and ability you have. And by the way, spells have different values. So some will be worth 1, some will be worth 2, and some will be worth 3. And they get more powerful. So it's like if you have 6 points, you can get 2 3-pointers, you can get 3 2-pointers, you can get 6 1-pointers, or mix them up, and so on. So it's kind of like it takes more of your memory, I guess, to cast a 3-point spell. And so if you have 6 points, the best you can do is 2 3-pointers. That'll basically it'll exhaust your memory. But you could also do 3 2-pointers, at which point your memory will be exhausted. Anyway.
Actually, I like Ariaz's explanation that it's like video buffering to prepare a spell. Because it's like, if you want to use it uninterrupted or watch it uninterrupted, you got to kind of like get it downloading first and let it go a bit before you can actually do it.
That is a really good metaphor.
And then Mateus, yeah, you're right. Like, it is not necessarily very elegant.
Really, though, Arias, I think that's a metaphor that will work very well for the modern age. Another idea is like, say you have a bunch of songs in your library and can stream them, but if you're going on an airplane, you have to download some of them and to play them, otherwise you won't be able to.
Right.
That's a really good way of describing it. So this is kind of like that system, except it's much more, I think, concrete and straightforward. It's just like, here are the pool of spells, and it's like, if you don't have it, then you don't have it, even if you have the ability to cast it. Another idea. I'll get to draft more spells during the course of the game. Anyway, so with that in mind, what can we call this ability? As I was describing it, memory is one option, but yeah. Anybody, like, based on that description, throw out other ideas.
I also like, I mean, I know like this was from the D&D terminology, but to prepare, to ready, because like building off that, it's like you have to essentially ready yourself.
But then what would the resource be called?
Oh, the resource that you're readying.
Yeah, that's the thing we need the word for.
So memory is one. Energy is another. Like if we have a metaphor for something that's like a reserve of energy.
And then we can just come up with a word for it in the cat language and use that word.
Right, right. There's, let's see, a store, like a, you know, like a storehouse for if you're like keeping things all together to prepare for like winter or something.
Mm-hmm.
What is inside the storehouse? Like if you're saving grain to use during the winter when you don't have any grain growing, it's a supply, a stockpile.
Stockpile. And it's also like you only have so much space. I think that needs to be implied that it's limited, you know. Attention.
Reserve is what Karis is suggesting. Focus, tincture suggested.
Incidentally, I always get Jack Vance confused with that guy that was on Hollywood Squares for a long time. You'd have long curly hair and these like large red rimmed glasses. We have cognition. I missed that one. Thank you, Logan.
I also think, okay, so now my brain is also going to things like in terms of like it's something that can be depleted,
right.
Like thinking about kind of metaphorically linking it to like a, because we have telicity as a verb function, which I think we could then play with for how the noun form is built, or what it means when it's built. But something like a race, like to race, it's understood that you end the running and like you end at an endpoint. And so there's like a set starting and destination. And so like kind of a mental metaphor where it's like you have so much in store for this thing, but once it ends, it ends.
Event.
That would be, yeah.
All right. And then there was... There's one other idea I had.
Pocket space.
That would be a great one for mice. The other idea I had was if it was related to this design that they created for the cross.
Oh yeah, like death they get depleted. What is it? Just a second. Let me make sure I'm thinking of the right word.
Capacity.
Ooh, capacity is a good one. Okay, so to think of the cross, like, because it's an actual cross shape, right?
Yeah.
It goes across.
Mm-hmm.
If they're thinking of it geometrically or mathematically, it's like your energy, like energy on one plot, ability on another, or like knowledge on another, and it's like where they intersect is the magic spot of where you can use it. So like convergence, junction, intersection, crossing.
Yeah. Okay, I think we've got enough ideas for brainstorming here. I want to oh, and by the way, Magpie, I'm super interested about your magic system in Jiaodong, but I want you to wait until we're done with this because I don't want it to influence it. I want to be sure that's your own thing and we don't copy anything. I would like for this word to not have any diacritics. And so...
This language, that's...
Yeah.
All right.
And so I want to look at the noun classes we have to see what would make that the easiest.
So none of those nasal options, unless it's a slash, because like nasality is passed through the M for the cat suffix and so on. So like some of them are not necessarily actually nasal, but the soft category always is, and the container category always is, as is the abstract category. All of those are always nasal.
Category is the most obvious.
Sorry, babe.
Oh my god. Is there any way we can add a suffix on the end of the container category? Do any of these begin with a vowel? No, they don't. So like there's nothing that you could...
Wait. Hear
abstract?
me out. No, it's...
Oh, damn it.
Hear me out, though.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is always used, right? So could we put it in a case? And then the M would go to the case suffix, and it would no longer be a nasal vowel. So it's like you can't just use it in nominative case to refer to these magic points that are collected and like drawn upon. If you scroll down, we have more inflections. So benefactive is one, but we've got more cases.
I appreciate the thought. I don't think so. But I do have one idea that might work. I don't remember, so I'm gonna find out. What is it? Bin? Is it bin? It is bin.
Is the home one? Yeah.
Yeah. Here's my idea. I want to see if this works.
I'm just saying the ablative should be something you consider.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, to have two class markers?
Yeah. So in other words, if we have this word that means like, for example, if we created a word that just meant storehouse, and then we turned that into the tool class, then it would be, I mean, this is, here, let's come up with something like, I don't know. Oh my God, hold on. I just want to see what would be. Litzbinye. So it's kind of long, but no diacritics, no nasal vowels.
Oh, Magpie, yes. Discord would be a great place to info dump some information.
Abonyo. These are all sounding kind of long. Would this just become a nasal vowel? It would. Omonyo.
Yeah, anything with a nasal coda.
Arbonyo. Arbonyo. Albonyo. Let's see what elk. Albonyo. These are too long though. Okay. That would do it, but it's too long. So I would like something shorter. I also don't like the nya in that. Basically, I don't like it, the nya on like the beginning of a third syllable. If it was like anyobo, that would work. Okay. All right. So bearing that in mind, go ahead.
Oh, that's a GH, though. You may not like the GH, huh?
Depending on the consonant that comes before it, I think we could. Oh, maybe not.
Because what if they
Mm-hmm.
viewed this magic potential as animate?
And that's.
I guess it would be like cat animate would be most likely, right?
Yeah, but that's.
But I was thinking like a big animate, like the augmentative. But I don't know that they would give that class to. Well, I guess by then they wouldn't necessarily know it came from the dog, the word dog.
I don't think there's anything that's going to get rid of that ra. Airag. Airag.
But
That's
if they
pretty cool.
considered it as a cat
Yeah.
class animate, because they view magic as sort of their specialty, as long as we didn't have a nasal at the beginning of the word, it's going to come out non-nasal at the end.
Yeah.
With an M in between.
And probably. Mm-hmm.
I mean, tool, because whatever this potential is, whatever we call it, it's going to be used in magic, right?
Yeah.
So tool makes sense, and we can just get ya.
Yeah, let's. Hold on a sec. It really is too bad that that store one always has a nasal unless you throw the. Let me see. So magic is Gathomon, and then magic spell is Gathonyo. Sorry. Oh, Gathon. That's a really cool word for magic. Okay.
Oh, Jake, is that an invitation? Yeah, that's.
All right.
That's going to be a difficult.
It is. It's a number.
A difficult ask is what that is. I think it was Karis who asked if we had any nouns not marked for class, and we do.
Yeah.
It just seems like this is kind of a bigger concept
Mm-hmm.
that wouldn't. I guess if they just stole a word that already existed in the, like basic vocabulary and just expanded it and said, we're going to start using it as this, we could do that. It'd be short and sweet.
Let's also think about cats. What do cats do?
They sleep, they stretch, they chase, they pounce, they stalk, they
sometimes
watch.
They sometimes have little collections or things
they play. They carry their little toys around in their mouths to show their other people they're very excited to show. They bring food to their human people, even though their humans don't see the thing they brought them as food. They need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, really like needing for this if they use something other than their crosses.
Oh, because of how it's being used.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. No, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah. Does B ever change? Like, does anything cause a B to change?
I don't know. And also, thank you, Jake.
That's wow. Bon.
Oh, so
Okay.
if it comes after a voiceless stop, is that the only?
Yeah. And it only changes to P.
In terms of like not having the diacritic, are you thinking like you don't want the diacritic to be a part of the game? Like you don't want to have to write that word?
Yeah, I don't want for something that's going to be so high use and it's going to be used for all the classes. I don't want. I want it to be really basic.
Okay.
So I think it's got to end in ya or ye. And so let's just go from there.
Does that make you? How does that make you feel, David, in terms of this word that will be used a lot in the game?
I'll tell you in a minute. Aja, it's pretty cool.
Oh, we could get the ja, and you do love ja.
That's true. I want to. What if we put an A in there? It'll become ije. Except then it's a ZH, which not everybody knows how to pronounce.
That is true. And we don't have the SH in this language, right?
I don't think there's any way for it to occur, right?
I don't think so either, but I'm looking at the IPA chart when I find it. Just in case. We can get a TH. Yeah, the SH is a mediary sound that comes up and then disappears. We could also get a J somehow. I don't know. What if we put a D there?
Yep, EJ.
EJ. That would be, we also can get CH. So ch. So acha or something.
I just had an idea. Maja.
Acha. Oh my god, that's actually kind of cute. Oh no, the TH is from the S, so we can't get that here. I think those are the only.
Kalya is pretty good. Put a Q in there. Still Kalya. Majayo. Yeah.
Just a second. I'm checking it before I suggest it. How did we get? Oh wait.
Sanya.
Can't make it work. Never mind.
What was your idea?
Play with the maja form, but make it more like mauja for meowja. For meow. But I don't think I can make it work.
Oh, what am I doing? Embarrassing. Oh. Maoye. Muyo. We're just going. Anybody wants to throw out some forms, Chad is heavily invested in discussions of modern fantasy and what is good and what isn't. And then I'll just throw my torch on the bonfire by saying I don't read any of it.
So do we not have any diphthongs in protoforms? Is that
Yes, we
what
do. Yes, we do. We can have...
But if we have a diphthong, can we not have a coda?
Almost. We can
Like,
have...
that's not...
We can have S. We can have a fricative. And we can have a... No, we can't. I think we can only have a fricative. Katya. Well, we already have... So kat is already the root with a Q. It's already the root for magic, so I'd hate to do that. But Katya is pretty cool. But yeah, we can't get P, and P is not in the protoform. So the closest we could get is Bonyo. Oh, wait, that's Bunyo. What happens if we put an on there? No, we can't. Yeah, Atpanyo. Atponyo. I kind of like the cha. I kind of like the cha.
Okay. If we go cha, we can have an O or an ah. So, right? Gocha or kacha.
So there's nacha. Bunyo. So help me, Jake. You're trying to bring Fuemu Gemu back.
I think the only thing better than that suggestion, Jake, for his sensibilities here, David's, is if you were to suggest Wu Yi, then it would get all of his least favorite combinations in one go.
Okay.
Watcha! Watcha what I do with this magic.
Woo! Let's see.
My word.
And I think I want to... I don't want to do hacha because it sounds like hacha.
Fuimukemu never left Jake's heart. Lives with Oza Yamosa.
And I love the way matcha sounds. The only reason I don't want to do it is because it sounds like
The T.
The T, yeah.
Do you like nocha?
Also, dacha. That's a little house, right?
Dacha?
Yeah, isn't it?
I don't know.
Somebody will tell us. Let's try putting an O in here.
Oh no, then it's gonna look like mocha.
Mucho.
Oh, mucho gusto. Okay, so that changes that. Never mind. What happens with a schwa in there?
Miche is pretty good. Yeah, dacha is a summer house. We can have schwa. We can have schwa. I think it's going to come out as an E. It is, meche. So that's how we get an E. We can't really get an O.
Oh, okay. Because
schwa by itself becomes e. Something has to influence it to become O.
But I did like the...
I kind of like Miche.
Miche was cute.
It's pretty cool. Oh, we can have dotless I. That becomes...
I feel like that just is going to get Michi. Oh, Diche.
Diche. No, Miche is good. Let's see what... Oh. Ducho is terrible. Oh, jeez. And then does this come out as just dacha? Yeah, I can't do that.
The other thing to remember is just how they look, because otherwise I was going to suggest some other things, but in terms of how they look when romanized, because that's how people are going to see it.
Yeah. And then Man, Ducho, Lucho. I don't think I hate Nucho. What do you think?
Well, I think I'm leaning towards the nasals in general. So like nacha, nucho, niche.
I like Lacha.
Nacha.
And there's Liche. Yeah, it sounds like leech.
Yeah. Kind of running out of. Oh, well, we could get. Oh, never mind. I don't want that. Yeah, we're kind of running out of sounds there. I don't know that we have many others.
What happens with K? Just want to see. Oh, it's Lakia. Anyway, so I was trying to narrow it down to 4 to do a poll here, but we're getting close to the end. Maybe it should just be our cat poll since it's kind of important.
Nacho cheese. I also think that would give us time to potentially brainstorm other forms, because what we would want at that point is you need to be like fully happy with all the forms,
yeah,
before they go up for a vote. And so I think, yeah, that would be a good voting thing. So Arias, when you come back later, you'll see there was no choice. I also do like the idea that Atesa said with twin gods of Fuemugemu and Osaimosa. Definitely need that.
Osa Yamosa sounds like if that were actually a real like thing as a part of some mythology, it sounds like one of those trickster gods that would like mess you up. It would like, just like as a laugh would absolutely level an entire civilization. Say it was just a joke. All right.
That was a good one.
Thank you. I'm gonna write these down.
Gosh. I kind of, in terms of pronunciation, I kind of like it ending in a or o, just because in English, so often when something ends in an e, it gets alternatively pronounced. And so, like, because I was also thinking about like examples of, so for instance, miche would look exactly like the English word niche, except with an M. And that sure is not pronounced miche by anyone. And so it's like how that would end up kind of coming out. If you want good faith effort of like, we can always have pronunciation guides, but you're going to be guaranteed that a host of people are not going to read them. And so having a CHO or a CHA at the end, though, it's got to be cha or cho or something very similar to that.
Yeah, and then the other thing that can be in between that's different is we have a ja and then we have a ja. I fear that the ja wouldn't be pronounced correctly with ZH, and I also fear that the ja would be pronounced like a ja.
Although, I mean, that's less terrible because it's at least in the right family.
Yeah.
Also, you know, some of our other languages would kind of borrow it that way anyway, in world, just because they don't all have ja.
Yeah.
And so that is less worse for me, I think. I just think anything ending in an E for primarily audience, for a primarily English speaking audience is potentially going to be a problem area.
Wait a minute. Let's. Should be. Okay. Gotcha.
I thought you were gonna make a DJ for DJP.
Could. Oof.
Are you thinking about it?
No, I was thinking about using SAD, and then it comes out as either, you know, or SAZ, but you get Saja or Saja, which sounds like sage. Okay. Well, anyway, we're.
Woo! Just throwing that pin around.
All right. Let's.
I think at the end of the day, it's going to be DJ. Get back over on the screen. To Jethro or Jet in this language?
Not.
Yeah, it's gonna, because you're gonna need something in front of it. And then we have to put a class marker at the end. It's, yeah.
Is there no, we don't have an F or a V at all in this language.
No.
What happens to this? Oh, it voices Maria. Maria. Wow. So no, not that.
What happens to an alveolar R? Maria, like berries. Wow.
Sorry.
You dragged that X.
Maja.
Oh.
It's pretty cool, actually.
That's something to consider. I know it comes out with the ZH, which you're not super thrilled about.
I mean, I love the sound. I'm just, it would hurt me if people were pronouncing it Maza.
That's really interesting. Because I was just thinking, like, the closest
Hasha.
the closest thing in English I feel like is actually SI for certain things, but only certain words, because you get it for like in the middle of Asia and things like that. But like otherwise, G sometimes will get je, like genre, but most times no genre.
Oh yeah. No, this is.
And so it's like it's a weird in between area for like how would you get an English speaking audience to like really recognize a ja?
Yeah, it's and this is something that really came to the forefront of society when people started writing the expression per use, and there was a question of how to spell it.
Yeah.
And you know, when that happened, that was when I said, look, it's a very simple analogy. S is to SH, as Z is to ZH, and I don't understand why everybody isn't on board with this. But like, you see a lot of people write PER space UJ.
Ouch.
Uh-huh.
Or should I say ouch, since they're interchangeable. But yeah, to me, it's like if I see anything other than UCH, I get confused. And I have seen other things, and I have no idea what's happening. And so, yeah. So that's something to think about, though, like, because Maja and Haja are, I think, cute. Nice words.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah.
Have I accidentally taken over your screen?
Yeah. You've been threatening to do it all stream.
I don't know. what I can do other than make my mouse go over there. There, I'm away from it. You should have it back. Move your mouse. There we go.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that will be the poll this week. We will make a decision about it in terms of what's going to be in the poll presently, and then we'll put that up. And you will decide our fates.
Woo!
Yeah.
And as another pre-teaser, yeah, see, I gotta think before I can word things. I should have thought this through and done this at the beginning so my brain was working better. January 1st, I will have a new project dropping, which I have hinted at before. But yeah, the next level of the teasery of it is that if you've wanted to create a language or get reinvigorated to start a new language, stay tuned. January 1st may be the start of something new.
Well, everybody, please stay grammar, keep your jewelry hells, and yeah, we will see you
next
on the
week.
28th.
Right before Mateus's birthday.
Woo!
Bye.
Bye, everybody.